This is Carl Polachuk, and you're listening to the SMB Community Podcast, produced by and for the Small Biz Thoughts community. We're dedicated to making every IT professional a successful IT professional. Welcome to another SMB Community Podcast. I'm joined today by Scott Millar. And where are you from, anyway?
Carl, I am from Scotland, Aberdeen, Scotland, originally Glasgow, but I'm in Aberdeen today.
Aberdeen, all righty. And is it like approximately cold up there?
It's starting to get chilly again. So I know a lot of the sort of the US has kind of been mild, more mild than expected for this time of year. It's been the same here, but we've got a little bit of frost on the ground now. So yeah, it's a little bit cold. It doesn't get too cold here. It's fine.
Wow. Usually the only time I go to Scotland is August.
Yeah, well, compared to where you're from, Carl, I mean, California, yeah, then any other part of the world's probably going to feel cold.
Alrighty. Well, Scott runs the IT Rockstars, and that is at itrockstars.co.uk. And it is basically MSP Video Academy. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this and what you're up to?
So I used to work, I am from the age of 12. I was a system engineer at the age of 12, Carl. So I got my grandmother I took apart the computer that she bought me, and that just led into becoming a desktop engineer. Did break fix for a number of years, was IT manager for a fairly large non-profit up here in the northeast of Scotland. And then I went to work for an MSP and then eventually became an MSP myself. And working in the MSP, one of the biggest challenges that I had when I was doing that in that role was generating qualified leads. So it was easy once I was speaking to someone about their business and the technology solutions that we would provide and the problems that they had with their existing technology. The biggest problem I had, though, was actually getting that person to speak to in the first place. Once I was sat down in front of them, it was easy. It was a piece of cake. I knew the technology already. I come from a more of a technical background than a sales background. I'm an engineer at heart. So, speaking the technology was fine, but actually getting that lead in the door, getting face-to-face with that business owner was always a real pain point for me. And at the time when I had my own MSP, I realized I knew how much work's involved in running an MSP because I used to work for a smaller one before, and I saw that go from 3 men up to about 30. And I know how much work's involved, and I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do this. I want to follow something that I enjoy doing. And I've had the background in SEO, so I have a really weird hobby, which was search engine optimization. I've been doing it for the last 10 years. I thought, let's see what we can do here to help other IT companies and MSPs. So that's why we have IT Rockstars now. We pivoted from being an MSP ourselves, and we're now a marketing company that helps MSPs and IT companies.
Right. So I have to say, when I talk to crowds, and I ask them what's the most important thing that you need, the answer is either leads, more prospects, appointments. They want to get in front of people. Everybody claims to have a 100% close rate, but even if you have a 50% close rate, you still have to get in front of a bunch of people. So
that's right. Yeah. And I'm probably one of the worst sales guys you could ever meet. So when it comes to the marketing side of things, if you can get your marketing right, the sale becomes a much easier thing to do.
Right.
If you're attracting the type of people that you want to attract, then you don't have to worry too much about the close and who you're up against or who you may be up against. So that's really that pain point of when you speak to people in the channel, companies in the channel, and that's one of the biggest things that they're looking for. That was the pain point that I had, and I thought, well, if I can help the industry with this, then I'm going to be good. So I guess the main reason that IT Rockstars exists is because IT and technology companies, MSPs, what we want to call them, we're really good with technology and telling people about technology and how it can help their business and transform their business. But when it comes to the marketing aspect, we're still stuck in the dark ages. It's almost like an afterthought. Just like what IT is for a lot of businesses. It's almost like an afterthought. Well,
Right.
guess what? Marketing is almost like an afterthought for a lot of IT companies. And as we have the industry as it stands at the moment, it's becoming harder and harder to acquire new business because there's all these acquisitions happening. So I'm mixing the game up here a little bit with IT Rockstars. I'm putting a little bit more of a fresh face on marketing for IT companies.
Right. Well, it seems to me that one of the things that happens with marketing is it's rarely or maybe never urgent. And so lots of other things are urgent, and I think people don't do a good job of filtering what's urgent and what's not. But if somebody walks in your door or rings your phone, you're more likely to take care of that than the marketing every day for your entire career. So I think that it gets pushed down simply because it's never on fire.
I would agree with that 100%, 110%. And that's one of the other things I realized from running an IT company, that all of your time is taken up with the operations side and then the sales side and whatever side. There just isn't enough time in the day when it comes to the marketing side. And that is why it is an afterthought. And that's why the MSP Video Academy exists.
So tell me about the services you offer. You mentioned MSP Video Academy. What is that all about?
So we have our core service at IT Rockstars is a membership, $125 a month. It gives you access to a system that you can introduce into your IT business that will help you market your business more effectively. The best way to do that at the moment is on LinkedIn. So I show you how to build an audience and connect with the ideal types of clients that you want to work with on LinkedIn. So we're very much not about LinkedIn as such, but actually what you're doing on LinkedIn. So the types of things that you're posting out onto your own timeline. So as part of the membership, you gain access to premium white label content. So you get access to 4 blog posts every month. This is white label stuff, explainer video, and also a lead magnet that you can put on your own website. And we lock it down by geographic regions. So you're not going to find that your competitors going to have the same content as you.
Right.
But we show you basically what to do with that content, which is basically once a week posting it up to LinkedIn and educating your connections on what your solutions actually are. And when I say actually educating them, what you're really doing in that content is you're helping them. That's one of the biggest things about any type of content that you're putting out there online. You have to help your prospects, your connections. And once you start doing that in your content, you're going to find that they're going to start to get to know you, then going to start to get to like you, then trust you. So when you can follow up, this is our third step in the process. Then when you follow up with that, you can either pick up the phone preferably or just send them a LinkedIn request or email them. They're going to be a lot more open to actually speaking with you. So that's our core service. We do have the MSP Video Academy as well. That is a course. It's a separate site, mspvideoacademy.com. And that is specifically for IT businesses that don't have a lot of time in the day to actually be doing any of this marketing stuff.
So how long are these videos?
So from the video side of things, the best one, I mean, when you're on your device, so everybody and their granny has one of these, and
Right.
you can walk down the street and you will find pretty much that, 50% of people that you're looking at are glued to this, okay?
Right.
I mean, that's what it's like here anyway, Carl. I don't know what it's like where you are. But I just have to look around if I'm sat in a, having a coffee or something like that. There's someone on one of these.
Right.
Attention span, though, getting back to your question, you're looking at 2 or 3 minutes. So what we teach in the academy is going live to your audience of prospects and potential customers for 2 or 3 minutes on a daily basis.
Wow. And on going live on LinkedIn?
So we go live on Facebook. Now, there's a really good reason that we show you why I go live on Facebook. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense from a business-to-business perspective, but going live on Facebook, and then it just so happens when you go live on Facebook, there's an option to download the video to your device, then post that up onto LinkedIn.
Ah, okay.
So you put it out to 2 places, but there is, as I say, there is a good reason to do it on Facebook.
Right. So you give folks a sort of a steady stream of stuff, but do I have to post the stuff on my own LinkedIn? You don't do that. I don't give you a login.
No, you're going to be recording these videos yourself, Carl. So we show you how to come up with the content and how to get over the fear of going live on video.
So very cool. I personally am going live tomorrow, like the day after we record this. So
Are you? Okay.
for
So
the
do
first time,
do you go live often, or how often do you do it?
I've never done it before. I'm going to try it in 2020 and see how it works.
Okay, so how come you've never done it before?
Well, when they first came out with live, it disappeared like Snapchat. And so I'm like, well, I'm not putting out crap, which means I'm going to put some effort into it. And so if I'm going to put effort into it, I want it to stay up and be reusable. And so I just, I do my stuff on YouTube and Vimeo. But now that you can, post it and leave it up and people can continue to comment, then it makes sense to me. So I think
for some reason, the algorithm just works a lot better with live. It gives it more reach. So when you post something live, you're going to get much better reach than just posting out a video or image or a written.
Right.
Written
well, we shall see. That's the theory. I will know by the time that this airs.
Okay. So you're going live on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that we teach in the academy, one of the reasons of going live on Facebook is when it comes to retargeting your audience. So if you're mentioning your website and your videos, so I suggest that when you're on video going live, is that you mention your website address at least once. When you have interested parties they hear that website, they go to the website, you can retarget them. So you can drop a cookie in their browser, and then you can retarget them on Facebook. And that's where the intelligence comes in on Facebook that you can't do in any other platform. So the way that this works is when you go to the Facebook Ads Manager, you can tell the Facebook Ads Manager, okay, show these videos to people that have been on my website and have also watched, say, for example, 25% of my other videos.
Ah.
There's no other platform that allows you to do that type of logic. And it can be extremely powerful because what you can do with that is you've almost got like a cold audience there. And then you can put them into a warm audience. So that warm audience is the people that are interested in what you're saying. They've already watched some of your videos. And then you can literally bombard them with videos. And guess what? They're on their device every day. And you can be appearing on their device every day for about 5 cents per view. It's extremely effective. And yeah, I practice what I preach with it. So that's how I've grown IT Rockstars to date.
Right. Well, so far, I have flushed a lot of money down the toilet trying to advertise on Facebook. And what I find from my personal experience is because I have such a large, I have 5,000 personal contacts.
Yeah.
It's the least effective advertising I do. Where Google ads and Google videos and, all of that, even on devices, I get more clicks on, Batman Returns video game than I do on Facebook.
So that's probably all targeting. So if you're targeting people that have already been to your website and they've watched some of your videos already, you're probably going to find you'll have a better engagement there.
Yeah, well, and I can basically upload my Facebook audience, to some degree. I can upload that to Google Ads and say, go get those people.
Okay, I didn't know you could do that. Actually, I know you could do it the other way around.
Well, first of all, you have to figure out how to get your list from Facebook. But that's but Google Ads, you can. It's kind of like Facebook. You can upload a list of like everybody on your mailing list, everybody who meets certain criteria, all that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, but you've had no success with Facebook advertising.
I've had zero success with Facebook advertising. And I've tried boosting posts. I've tried, all kinds of different stuff. But you have to remember, my audience is not small business owners. My audience is IT service providers who are, I think, a little bit different and more sophisticated than, with technology, obviously, than the average business owner. So, And I think a lot of people go to LinkedIn for business and go to Facebook for playing around. So, it's got to be the combination. That's why I'm hoping live will work for me because it falls in the category of free, but it'll get to my whole audience.
Yeah, you'll find you'll have much better reach with live videos than you would now. The reach, if we were talking about this about a year and a half ago, 2 years, it would have been even greater. So the reach isn't probably as much, But the way that you can improve that in your videos is if you literally just get people to comment in the live feed, and once you're doing it, and that's an easy tactic to do that will give you a better reach.
Right. Well, we're going to see. I'm planning probably a 15-minute live session. So,
okay,
because the algorithm works even more in your favor after 10 minutes. So,
I didn't know that, but I limit myself to 10 minutes. Now, the reason I limit myself to 10 minutes on these live videos is because I can repurpose that video on LinkedIn.
right.
So, you know, with LinkedIn, they've got like a 10-minute rule at the moment. You can't post anything up there longer than that. And most of the people that visit my website come from LinkedIn. So from my audience side of things, the way it works for me, and probably your audience is you're going to probably have better success on LinkedIn.
We shall see.
Yeah.
See, and if I have to cut it to 9 minutes to put it on LinkedIn, I can edit it.
Well, that's the other beauty of it. You can repurpose that content as well. And when I suggest going live, 2 or 3 minutes, that 2 or 3 minute video can be repurposed. You can outsource the repurposing of that content to all of your other channels, Instagram, Twitter, even TikTok, which I just kind of downloaded today, which I have no idea how that works.
Young ones, huh?
It's another one, but I have to be ahead of the curve so that we can take advantage here of the untapped market more than anything else.
Right. Well,
the way I see it just now is there's a lot of people that are still marketing like it's 1995, and you've got this younger generation that are going to come in and they're going to whack you over the head, and they're just going to take over. So we have to be on top of things.
Well, I was going to say, I was hanging out with my daughter and her girlfriend, in Hawaii and over Christmas and whatever. And, when they talk about social media, I'm like taking notes, like, oh, what was the name of that? What was the name of that? So, because I, once I learn something, it's like, oh, okay, that works for me. And then I just do that. And I have to force myself to look left and look right and see what else is out there.
Yeah, I guess that is a big thing for myself as well. If you do something that's already working for you, it can be difficult to try out other things. But I am constantly testing new methods, and it's something that in IT Rockstars membership we do on a regular basis as well. So we're actually going through direct mail at the moment in the membership. So we're testing that method, direct mail here in the UK. I know there are other IT marketing companies that have had amazing success with it in the States. Direct mail in the UK, I'm not aware of any actually. So I think I'm probably one of the first that's trying it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's and it's doing the opposite of what everybody else is focused on. So it's a bit of I guess you could call it more of a renegade approach, but everyone's focused on online and digital. Well, having a physical piece of paper come through your mailbox potentially might be more effective. So we're testing that at the moment. And our members are going to find out what the results of that are.
Well, I think it's effective eventually. There's a company here called Comcast that, it's cable TV and internet. I think they drop a business-focused piece of email or mail, physical mail, into my mailbox 6 or 7 times a week. And it is literally every single time I open my mailbox, there's something from Comcast. And so maybe they're just flushing money down the toilet, but it seems to me that it must work or they would stop doing it.
This is in your email?
No, in my physical mail.
Your physical mail.
In my postbox. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It must be working if they're doing it like that.
Yeah. So.
What are they trying to get you to buy, Carl?
Internet, business internet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Because it's funny because I have home internet. I work from home. So since I no longer have an office outside the home, I no longer, have to buy their business internet. So they just are trying to lure me to a slower speed at a higher price.
No, well, I mean, that's all going to change in a year and a half anyway with 5G. You'll have that connection. You won't even need the line. Right.
Well, theoretically, 5G was supposed to be here by... Oh, yeah, December 31st, 2000.
It is here. Depends where you are.
I have it inside my house. I just don't have it over my cell phone.
Okay. Well, there's a few reasons for that, isn't there?
So, so tell me about the IT Rockstars. How do people get started? Where should they go?
So IT Rockstars, you can check out what we offer on our homepage. And within that, we offer a 1 month free trial of the service. So you can gain access to that content. So as I mentioned, you gain access to 4 premium white label blog posts every month, a lead magnet, and also an explainer video. You'll have access to that as part of the free trial. We also do a webinar every month with our members. So we talked about about the direct mail experiment that we're currently doing. We're going to be posting out the results tomorrow, actually, of that direct mail experiment to our members as part of our webinar. So itrockstars.net is the website to go to. And if you are interested in doing the video, if you really want to change things up in your marketing strategy for the next decade, video is definitely the way to do it. So mspvideoacademy.com is the other site.
Very cool. So with the IT Rockstars, what exactly is in the explainer video? There's like a new video every month?
Yeah, so it's a scripted video. It's a white label video, so you can put your own watermark and logo on it. We leave the last 5 to 10 seconds blank, so you can put in your own sort of contact us on this website address. But the last, to give you an example, the last video we did for last month, it was all about Microsoft Teams. So it was about a 90-second video about the best use of Microsoft Teams, 4 of the best features in Microsoft Teams. And that's specifically for you as the IT business owner posting that out onto your own LinkedIn and making it look as though it's your IT business that's come up with this content. And you know, when it comes to Microsoft Teams at the moment, that's what everyone's talking about. So if you can come up with 4 new features that are going to interest your audience, potential clients, you're talking about MS Teams, then that's going to help them. And as I say, that's the first step to in marketing any type of content online. You've got to be helping someone somehow.
Right. Well, and it costs about 1 hour of labor per month. So you sell 1 hour of labor and it pays for itself.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it depends so much. It depends what state you're in, Carl. Though I've heard California is quite expensive for labor.
Well, I don't know anybody who charges more than about $150 or $175 an hour. So that'll pay for your membership.
I do.
But you're not selling to clients. We also have a lot of competition, right? So
that's
population. So that's what the explainer videos are. And are those in a format? Do I have to pull that into Premiere or Camtasia to put my info on it? Or are you saying that just happens in LinkedIn?
So you can literally just post a video out if you want, or you can put a watermark on them. As I say, we leave the last 10 sort of seconds of the video blank. It's just a black screen. Now you can pull that into something like Camtasia if you want to put up your own details there, but it's not necessary because if you're posting that out on your own time on LinkedIn, your timeline on LinkedIn, it's not necessary. But I am a big, actually, when you mentioned there Camtasia, I'm a big believer in that piece of software. I used to use quite an advanced editing software. So one of the side gigs that I had back in 2008, I used to do wedding videos. So I got a couple of friends that they make movies for Netflix. And they showed me like this Avid Media Composer. But it's just horrendous for a timeline. It takes literally about, if you've got like a 3-minute video, importing that into Avid takes about 10 minutes. Then you got Work Avid with a crazy keyboard that looks something like, I don't know if you can see this keyboard. That's what the keyboard looks like. I've kept the keyboard because it's kind of cool. But yeah, Camtasia is definitely, that's what I would recommend because it's the one that I use as well.
Well, that's what I use for everything. I think we have a 3-user license for Adobe Cloud, but Premiere is just like, it's such a steep learning curve for a 3-minute video that in order to watch the first training video in Adobe, I would have been done creating my video in Camtasia.
That's exactly it. Camtasia is so much faster. You can export out really quickly as well. You don't have to wait for videos to import. So yeah, it's got another tool with it as well, Snagit, which is really good for print screen. I use that all the time too.
Yep. Yeah. So I use Camtasia all the time. Anyway, yeah. So you can just like throw your label up there. But you're right. If you're doing it on LinkedIn, it's already on your profile, and you're
Yeah,
obviously link it to whatever you want.
yeah, as I say, it's completely white label, so it doesn't have any other company information. It doesn't say licensed by IT Rockstars or anything like that. So
Do you work with partners to sort of figure out how to, I guess, be a personality online? Because, part of this whole thing with video is that prospects are going to see you and say, oh, he looks like a nice guy to work with, or, he seems trustworthy or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So what, let me understand this, work with partners.
Like, do you show them like how to build their personality online?
Not in the slightest. So I'm very much of the opinion when it comes to that building a personality in your videos when you're going live is literally just be yourself. Because I think if you start to, I guess, build a personality, I mean, it depends what you mean by that, really.
Well, there are some people that, they want to look down and not look at the camera, and,
Oh, okay.
or they get nervous and they sort of blather on without really.
So this is more about the technical things within going live and video. So one of one of the challenges we have in the MSP Video Academy is going live for 30 days straight. And there's a formula to the videos that you do. For a 2 or 3 minute video, there's actual formula to it. But once you get that formula down, once you've been doing it for 30 days consecutively, you'll find that it gets a lot easier to do. And you don't actually worry too much about looking down or stumbling. I still stumble in video all the time. But as I said, I think it actually acts more like a filter. So it will filter out the type of people you probably don't want to be working with anyway. And when you go to sit down for that first intro meeting with that prospect or client, they'll have whilst you're building a relationship using video, and it's very much one-sided, they'll have this, what's the word I'm looking for? Frame of reference of who you are because they've seen you in video so many times.
Right.
So that's the way that I explain it within the academy.
Do you also encourage people to do YouTube or anything like that?
So what we encourage people to do is obviously go live on Facebook. Then you save that video to your device, and then you have it synced to something. If you're using Apple, sync to iCloud, so you can sync it into your desktop. But then you repurpose that video. So you post it up onto YouTube. You can post it up onto LinkedIn and any other platform that you want as well. But we are very much focused on LinkedIn and Facebook. When it comes to YouTube, something that I'm scratching the surface with, I've got a YouTube channel myself, but I haven't really been active on it. What I would suggest, though, is these videos that you're making every day, if you're going to go live, Carl, the 15-minute video you're doing tomorrow, is post that up onto YouTube after you've recorded it on Facebook.
I assure you I will.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because it's wasted effort otherwise. So you can become omnipresent. So you can be everywhere at once.
Right. Well, one of the things that I have learned, and I wouldn't say I spam the universe, but I do quite a bit of marketing. Is I've learned that most of the time, most of the people are not paying any attention whatsoever to what I'm doing, and so it turns out you can't market too much. It's really hard to get old when people have such a short attention span, and there are people who don't go on Facebook except 1 hour in the morning. There's other people who hang out all day. There's other people who come in and out all day, and there's other people who they never go on Facebook. So you got to be somewhere else as well. So my experience is I've done things where I've done an entire campaign and think I've hit everybody 1,000 times, and then people come up to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know you were doing a road show." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's because they blocked you, Carl. That's why. Yeah, that's my experience as well. So if you are going live on a daily basis for 30 days, then you can get over a little bit of that. You're still going to have it because 30% of your audience are just going to flip right past up your video. They're not going to notice it. The other 30%, maybe not of your audience, but they're going to see you. They're not interested in what you have to say. They might not even like you. They might post a really bad comment, or they might block you, Carl. But then there's that other percentage, the avid followers, the people that they want to see your content. They're expecting what you have to say. So that's what I've experienced so far doing this.
Very cool. All right. Well, believe it or not, we are out of time.
Awesome. I can get on with Hogmanay now, Carl.
All right. Any last words of wisdom before we go?
As I mentioned, mspvideoacademy.com for video. If you want to check out the IT Rockstars membership, if you're not willing to change the way that you're doing marketing for this new decade that we're entering, check out itrockstars.net. You can gain access to those 4 blog posts every month, the lead magnet and the explainer video. The first month's free of charge, so you can get that content for free today.
Perfect. And we'll put that in the links down below. Thank you, sir. This has been another SMB Community Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the SMB Community Podcast. If you found this useful, interesting, or fun, please subscribe, share with your friends, and give us a thumbs up on your favorite social media. Please check out the show notes at smbcommunitypodcast.com and give us your feedback.